Well, it's clear that we as business, we call for bold, rapid, substantive action. But I think a lot has been done in the last days, very rapidly, things which would have been unthinkable some weeks ago, like technically suspending the Stability and Growth Pact, making exceptions for state aid, big stimulus packages in the member states. So I think a lot has been done rapidly and decisively, but more needs to come. It's very clear, and we have said it already, we need to do whatever it takes to keep our economic ecosystem alive, to keep as many companies as possible alive, up and running, and workers in the job. So we still expect more, obviously, and we think we need to do whatever it takes to protect the European Monetary Union and our economic ecosystem.
This crisis has shed a lot of light on the complexity of supply chains across the world. If you look ahead to the ramifications of what this pandemic has shown us, do you think we're going to see major supply chain changes within Europe and beyond?
Well, I think this will obviously happen and there will be a debate, but we will need to be balanced. We see already that the disruption of supply chains partly within the single market, and we do a lot to deblock things, but also globally is not helping. It's adding to the problem. It's further disrupting supply chains. We need to provide the medical staff, to provide the food, to provide the things people need. Obviously, there will be debate about localization of certain things, producing closer to the markets, but it will need to have a fair balance. We will still need to rely on free flow of goods and on value chains, because otherwise we'll just amplify the problem.
All sorts of strange suggestions and ideas are cropping up here. A lot of them really positive, Markus, but then you get the odd one and you think, I wonder what's prompting that. In this period around the council meeting, we saw the French president talking about possible suspension forever of the Schengen arrangement. That would cut to the heart of some of the core beliefs in Europe about free movement across borders. And we have seen a lot of challenges around the coordination of this issue of free movement. Are you concerned that ultimately that may become a permanent victim to this coronavirus issue?
Well, I can tell you we'll do whatever it takes to avoid this. It's very clear that we now need to be very disciplined in containing the sanitary crisis. But at the same time, we are very clearly saying we need to keep the single market going, and we also need to keep industry going as much as possible in order to avoid that companies die unnecessarily and in order to avoid that people lose their jobs unnecessarily, and not to make the economic crisis following to this sanitary crisis deeper than necessary. We think this crisis will be deeper than the one of 2008, but we have a chance, if we do the right thing, to come out of it more rapidly. And your question for the Schengen area, I mean, this is something we would certainly oppose, because this is one of the key achievements of the European Union and of the European unification process, and we will need it in the future to go back to prosperity. So we will need to have a very clear debate on what is the lessons from the crisis, but what is the things we need to protect in order to be successful after the crisis.
And just bringing it back, Markus, to the more near term, we've obviously had some measures already announced, but the real challenge now is going to be the execution of a lot of these measures that have been put in place. And we're seeing companies come out with their own measures to try to preserve capital. Just this morning, with a number of companies stepping up on their own. So how are you thinking about the execution risk? How well these measures are actually going to be delivered to the companies, to the households that need it?
Well, obviously, execution is always key. And we have a lot of goodwill. There is also money available now, but you need to bring it to the companies, to the households. On this, of course, there's a lot of things to do. We are collecting the examples of our members, of our member federations and member companies on a daily basis. We mirror it back real time to the Commission in order to remedy where we have issues. And we also do the same with our member federations on national grounds. And there's a lot to do, because many regulations stand in the way of rapid execution. So we need flexibility, we need derogations, we will need moratoria. To bring you an example, we need to change our production lines to, for instance, produce security masks, health safe masks. They need to be certified. Normally this takes months. We don't have this months, so we need rapid procedures to have these masks certified. Many things will need to be done in an unbureaucratic, rapid and flexible way in order to have a chance to bring money and help to where we need it as rapidly as needed.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.